Back with more Dollhouse. This is episode 11 of season 2. Final stretch, really, for the show, which is kind of sad. I don't want it to come to an end because I'm really, really enjoying it. But at the same time, I'm really excited to see what they're going to do. Because last episode I really enjoyed. We got a lot of insight into exactly what happens when people are like sent to the attic, and you know, there's a vision of the future, and we got to delve into, you know, some big fears that a lot of the characters have, some insecurities in that sense. And I love the reveal with Adele and the fact that she is kind of on the side of good, if you can call any side in Dollhouse a side of good, given how morally grey things normally are. But she is kind of working against Rossum, and we have like the Avengers assembled at the end, basically. And I'm excited to see what they'll do next now and where they're going to take this whole thing as we build up to the end of the show. It's going to be nuts, especially because, you know, there's like a 5-year plan, I think, for Dollhouse, people were saying, and the fact that, you know, they got cancelled after 2 seasons, so they kind of really had to rush through a lot of those plans this season. It makes me feel like a lot is going to go down in these next 3 episodes if, you know, they had like a 5-year kind of story planned out. So I feel like there's going to be some pretty crazy episodes coming up, and I'm excited to see how they're going to start wrapping up the show, and yeah, what's going to happen next with Echo wanting to meet Caroline. So intriguing stuff there, very excited, and yeah, let's get into the next one.
Relax, I'm not a thief. I'm a terrorist.
Oh, I am so screwed.
The woman who works here. Bet you can kill me with your brain. What makes you afraid?
Are we getting Summer Glau back?
Full scholarship.
Who are you?
Caroline? Yes. We need to know what she knows.
Caroline isn't just one more personality build you'd be adding to the mix. She's real.
Echo's real.
You're damn right she is.
I think he's right. We actually don't know what...
We haven't really talked since you died.
Guess we've
It was difficult to.
both died since then.
Caroline's missing.
Well, that's handy.
Well, she's clueless. She's
Yes.
at my party.
Flashbacks.
You can take those. So I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And she was like,
That's Summer Glau. Have some respect.
okay, yeah.
Got her no
I'm a
glasses.
waitress.
Did you have the biscuits? I had the biscuit.
Ew.
It's coming up again. Really? Oh God! Love your bag. Caroline Farrell. Bennett Halverson.
This ends well.
Once I settle on one thing, I've excluded everything else. And there are a lot of things I'd like to be.
Must be a lot of things, eh?
Get that thing out of my face.
Lots of people.
Let's do this.
After
Oh.
all is accomplished, this reeks of tofu freak.
Oh! Oh dear. Excuse me, that's Summer Glau.
We're in. She's here. We got her.
Is she
Oh, okay, it's them.
She's still cute? Don't you hurt her?
Me.
We're not leaving yet.
I'm the
Oh
too
no.
exhausted.
Bennett? Hi.
Oh man.
Welcome.
Remember when I punched you in the face?
Can I get you anything?
A diet soda.
I have some.
See, he understands that this is Summer Glau.
Come on. We'll be going into full lockdown mode.
Good. 2020.
She was a person, and now she's nothing again.
We'll fix it.
So sad.
Then maybe we could work on the one memory I'd like to erase. Bennett, I'm so sorry I hit you. I didn't want to.
Yeah, hit on her, don't hit her.
Who are you trying to resurrect?
Oh, you know,
It's
a
perfect.
friend who left you.
You're gonna pop and like it.
I like they switched it around in the flashback. She's in the chair. She's giving her treatment.
Starting a big new job tomorrow.
Taking an interest.
She just wanted a friend. Oh, Caroline, why?
I think it's time we brought you in.
Can I have one drink first?
Oh my god! Summer Glau and Amy Acker. He said he had like stuff going on at home.
Not his memories of you. You still got those?
Oh.
Our connection.
Oh man. I like how getting lots of flashbacks to the early days. I just feel like it's tying it together.
We're doing routine maintenance at the lab. Why do you have it?
Because I took it.
It allowed you to me?
At least she's honest
I
now.
saw you were valuable to them. You're not pissed because I used you?
I've heard that you won't.
Mm.
Do you want to blow up a building?
She will live to regret that.
Mother always wanted me to date a doctor.
Yeah. I wonder what mine wanted. Guess we'll find out.
I never met Caroline Farrell.
When are the lies going to stop?
I know she drives DeWitt about as crazy as you do, so I figure she can't be all bad. But I know you. I
Aw.
watched you grow. If she gets in there, I think she'll be proud to know you.
Oh, I love their bond. Wish we'd had more of it this season.
Okay.
But I know they had to do the whole Paul being her thing. So.
You gotta go, be with each other, even if it's just for the night.
Thank you.
Yes! Oh. Name a more iconic trio. Oh shit.
We're not together, right?
Until the end.
Oh, she seems to like really lean into having a friend. She seemed quite lonely before, so she'll go hard or go home, and then... Oh my. Oh, no, no, no.
His best chance is back in the attic, and we could use someone on the inside when we hit the mainframe.
I don't know you anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
Mr. Ballard, and you found her. You're Caroline.
I feel so bad for her.
You know.
They put her through so much shit.
As of this moment, I'm taking over this house and liquidating the inventory.
Bitch, you thought.
I beg your pardon.
Take her.
I don't think so.
Oh shit. I won't hesitate, bitch.
Mr. Langton.
No. I swear to Jesus.
Don't leave me. Sorry, sister. I say we both get nabbed. I'm gonna make sure it's just me. Don't leave me!
Oh. Put it in a new context. Oh.
You resurrect Caroline Farrell long enough for me to save my friends, and I'll let you do anything you want to her. I will hold the bitch down. Deal?
Are you out of your mind?
Oh.
Seems like I just got here yesterday. You can't see it?
Last Tuesday, actually.
Give me a hand.
I'll give you both. That
Bet you will.
It's an understatement to say they have ways of making you talk. Maybe
Yeah, we've had this scene before, right? I feel like I've seen this before.
I wish we had more time.
Oh. It's the trouble with like seeing the future, I guess.
Officially evacuated.
It doesn't seem anything works out.
Deal with the burn racks.
Ow.
Dude.
I'm sorry.
Ah.
Oh.
Vindication. They're adorable.
You know, I always had a crush on you. Even when I thought you were a dude.
Okay.
Better.
He's remarkable. I honestly didn't think he was capable of admitting the existence of another human being, let alone loving one.
He's come a long
I
way.
think you're the remarkable one.
I couldn't find a Dewey pen, but maybe.
Oh!
Do not
fuck?
You have much to answer for, young man. Yes?
I don't care what's happening here.
I wouldn't dream of keeping her from you.
The episode's over. Oh,
I need you to focus.
this is what really starts messing him up.
Boyd loves her.
Oh shit! They're gonna have to kill her. They're gonna make Boyd kill her. So I'm not here for it. Oh, Sophie, you're breaking my heart, buddy.
What we need to bring back now is Caroline.
Oh, he looks so like small and that. Oh, and she's being all maternal. Oh heck! I'm angry. Why would you bring Amy Acker back? Then make her shoot Summer Glau?
You have a remarkable brain. I think it should stay in your head. Ivy,
Oh.
don't become me. Go!
Oh, oh, I could cry. I'm glad she's safe though, so I really like her. So I really like Summer Glau. Oh my god, there's 2 episodes left after this shit. Fucking hell, they're screwed.
We can't lose you.
Captain goes down with their ship. Oh, Topher's so scared of losing more people now.
I've imprinted myself with many useful skills.
Oh, Topher, no. Bugger. Oh, yes.
Why me?
Because you're very special. You're going to help us in ways you can't understand.
Not likely.
You don't have a lot of options.
And I'm just gonna trust you.
With your life.
Shut the fuck up. You're having a laugh. You're having a laugh. No. No. That's my thoughts. No. No, no, fucking no. I don't know how to handle this. Preposterous. This is preposterous. And I refuse to believe it. In terms of like... Sometimes... I feel like a lot of episodes are obviously like reaction worthy, stuff like that, with a lot of shows. You can always find something out of it, but I felt like this was a really good episode for reactions. That's a big standout that I've taken away from this one, in a means to not actually accept the events that transpired. And I think one of a few benefits, I guess, of the show having to end very abruptly before it had like its 5-season plan or whatever, is that it does produce episodes like this which are just so fast paced and kind of non-stop relentless, whereas sometimes I feel like maybe things felt a bit like dragged out a bit. Maybe like I think early season 1 kind of felt a bit like that, then it really kicked off with like episode 6 or 7 I think it was that season. You know, season 2 hasn't really had that problem, but unfortunately it's because they kind of really had to rush what their big plan was. So who knows when a lot of these reveals were going to happen and stuff, had the show had its long run. But what an incredible episode. I mean, I hated everything that happened. Basically everything that happened was hurtful. But I think that might be my favourite episode of the show that I've seen so far. So consistently good. You know, I have at times felt a bit like, okay, yeah, let's kick things up a gear a bit when I've been watching some Dollhouse like episodes and stuff. That was mainly more season 1, I think. And that was probably because they had like 50-minute episodes for season 1. I do feel like that hurt a lot of those episodes for being a bit too long. But this was just, boom, so brilliantly paced and so well written. Oh, I mean, even the twists had twists. You're like, oh, Boyd's actually been housing Dr. Saunders all this time. So she's been back in it, you know. She's been there with him for months. Oh, but actually, she seems to have been gotten to by Rossum. And how Boyd's going to take that? Oh, wait, no. Boyd is like one of the heads. Surprise, bitch. It's like they've punched me in the face. It feels like they've punched me in the face, then punched me in the gut, and then punched me in the face again. I'm furious. Hell of a twist. Not sure they've quite built it up in a way that it really deserves to be as shocking as it is. I mean, it is as shocking as it is because there wasn't as much build-up to the whole Boyd thing. But again, that may come from the fact that they really had to rush the end of this season to tie things up. And they probably wouldn't have revealed this until like season 4 or 5 if they had their original plan. Maybe not, I could be wrong. You know, they could have done it earlier, but I don't think it would have been this soon, that's for sure. I need to stop having favourites. I never learned this lesson. I love characters, they either die or they turn evil. And both of those things happened in this one. My God. Shocking stuff, I tell you that. I don't know how to process it. I mean, yeah, I do feel like the Boyd thing has kind of come out of nowhere, but maybe that's the point. And it really is, you know, you can't really trust anyone. But at the same time, I feel like it does make sense. And if you think about it, it will all add up. It's just the fact that you put so much trust in Boyd because he's kind of been like a father figure to Echo since the start of the show, really. Oh, all throughout season 1, I was like, Boyd's my favourite, Boyd was my favourite. Him and Topher. It was always Boyd right from the start. If you've watched my season 1 reactions, you know I praised Boyd quite a lot and said he was often my favourite. This season it's been Boyd and Topher were my two favourites because Topher's development this season has been stunning, but fuck. I don't think that's quite happened to me before. Or if the character has turned evil, it's worked out in the end and it's been fixed. I can think of 2 examples of that. Is that going to happen this time? Fucked if I know. I wish I could remember a lot of Epitaph 1. So I can't remember if Boyd's in that episode or not. Maybe in that scene. I can't remember when that scene even was. So I think that scene when him and Claire like said goodbye. I feel like we've seen that before. I think. But I can't quite place when. Maybe I'm completely misremembering it for another kind of romantic scene between those two. I really can't remember, but I wish I could remember if Boyd was like around in the apocalyptic future that he would seemingly have caused. But of course they couldn't reveal that in that episode because then that would kind of spoil this whole thing. I don't know. I'm just angry and sad. I feel betrayed. Oh, Boyd was so cool, and he had that nice scene with Echo earlier. He's like, "Oh, you're so strong. You've come so far." And he's basically been like grooming her a bit, not in like, you know. Well, it is in a dodgy way, but not in that way. I'm sad. I'm sad about that. The fact that probably they're going to have to kill him because he's kind of evil. I've put all my trust in him since the start of the show, and he's had some really lovely stuff with that. But it's been his plan all along. He was like, you know, trust me with my life because he became like a handler, and that's what they said. Ugh. I wonder if that was always the plan for Boyd, or if because they got cancelled, they were like, we need kind of like a villain here and like a twist with the villain. Let's make it Boyd. You know, they could have introduced a character like season 3 and then revealed in season 5 that they've actually been, you know, one of the Rossum's heads. But I knew it was going to be someone we knew because it's a TV show. And the way they set up in the last episode, of course, it's going to be someone we know. Otherwise, they would just say who it was. Boyd was not on my list of people. I mean, I don't know who it would have been revealed to be. But I thought it would be someone we knew. I'm so sad that it's Boyd. That's going to make the next few episodes quite something to see everyone kind of find out about that and all this time he's been playing such a long game. You know, we think Adele's been playing some long games like this season, pretending to just go stone cold bitch, but she's actually been like working against Rossum. And, you know, it was a move to put Echo in the attic. But that bastard has been playing a much longer game with my heart. And I'm annoyed and so sad. And I'm just as sad for Bennett and Topher. I love that we've got Summer Glau back and Amy Acker back in the same episode. And again, both the things they did with those characters have upset and angered me. But not in like, oh, it's bad writing, it's rubbish, because it is not, because it's great what they've done. It's some awesome twists. But I'm just sad because I love those characters so much. And I thought the chemistry between Bennett and Topher was great and adorable, and they finally, like, they were going to get together and they were going to, yeah. But that's kind of the big downward spiral, I guess, for Topher when we see him in the future. And I knew things weren't exactly probably going to work out because we'd seen what happens to Topher in the future. And Adele's kind of very motherly to him. And we kind of saw a bit of that in this one when she was comforting him after Bennett was killed. And the fact that Saunders, like, seems to be brainwashed by Rossum, but that must have probably happened when she went back to Boyd and he, like, manipulated her in that sense. So, that makes a lot more sense why Boyd wouldn't have noticed if she'd been, like, turned to Rossum for, like, months if he hadn't picked up on that, because he is Rossum. Oh, man. It's a really great twist, but I'm still just so sad about it. But nonetheless, it was great to see Amy Acker come back into the fold. I've really missed that kind of presence this season. She comes back and kills Summer Glau, which wasn't ideal, but hell of a twist. So we'll see what happens with her and Boyd and all that nonsense in the future. I mean, there's next 2 episodes, but things are escalating. That was a hell of a twist, and we still have 2 episodes left. So God knows what else they have in store for me. But not looking good for Boyd. Not the person I thought he was. But I don't know if they kind of have earned that twist. Because again, there's like next to no setup and next to no hints really, except for like this episode, maybe like the episode before. Because even when they like mentioned he's having like troubles at home and stuff, I was like, that seems a bit out of nowhere suddenly. But sad. We'll see what happens with it, but definitely not my favourite character anymore. Because, you know, the Boyd I had in my mind as my favourite character seems to have never actually existed. So we'll see what happens with that, though. I'm intrigued by it. Then the idea of them like trying to find Caroline again, getting her back, would that erase Echo completely? Would that kill her? Interesting ideas there. I love that Ivy, Victor and Sierra kind of all got away. I wish Victor and Sierra had gotten a bit more to do, particularly in this episode. But they're safe together for now. I imagine something horrible is going to happen to them at some point, so we'll see. But at least for now, they've kind of escaped all this madness, so that's good. And I love that Topher told Ivy to leave as well. Ivy's always been very wholesome and sweet, and had quite a few funny moments as well. So I appreciate her humour throughout the show. And I've always liked the banter between her and Topher, and there's actually this deep, deep level of care between them that Topher kind of always played off as a joke before, because, you know, he doesn't seem to tend to get close to people that much. But when he does, he's like, I'm all in. And when Adele kind of called Ivy away, I think it was the last episode, you know, you could see he was genuinely concerned for her there. So they have quite a, you know, that deep respect and friendship that I really, really loved. So the fact that he kind of got her out because he just lost Bennett, he didn't want to lose someone else that he cared for. Even Adele, you know, when she said she's going to stay behind, he wanted her to go because he didn't want to lose more people after Bennett. Oh, Taylor and Bennett was so adorable. But that kind of really shook him up, and I think that's the real kind of downwards, the start of the downward spiral that he goes on when we see him in the future. So it's going to happen. It was inevitable because we'd seen it, but oh, it's so sad. I think, I can't remember the actor's name. Is it like Franz or something? But he was fantastic in those sequences. And I guess Topher's my favourite now since Boyd's evil. Oh man. But yeah, Topher's development this season's been incredible, and I can't wait to see what else they do with him in these next few episodes. But I loved the Topher and Bennett stuff. It was really sweet and nice. And then in comes Amy Acker, and thanks. Man. At least I still have her as Fred. It's about all I can say about that whole mess of a situation. Get her back, and then they do that. So yeah, very, very sad about Bennett, but I did appreciate the flashbacks we got with her and the parallels they were kind of going, showing her early friendship with Caroline, adding new context to it. So it wasn't actually as horrible a thing for Caroline to do to just leave her there with the rubble. She's actually kind of trying to save her a bit. So I liked that kind of new added context. I mean, it was very forced when she was like in the flashback, "Are you ready for your treatment?" when she went to like give her hair. That's kind of forced, but I did appreciate that kind of turning the tables a bit to like the future. So getting all those flashbacks filled in was really cool. Seeing how Caroline first met Boyd, kind of got involved in the Dollhouse and everything, and really see where that all started. You really get the sense that I think the show was starting to wrap things up with those flashbacks, and I think they worked really effectively, and they didn't take away from what was going on in the present day stuff as well. It was all of it was like necessary and added to what was happening, which I really, really enjoyed. And seeing November again as well. They put her as Nellie again, that poor woman, and Ballard kind of has memories of her, but he doesn't remember his connection to Echo. That's what they kind of got rid of to save him. I thought that was a very interesting kind of twist, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they kind of explore that a bit more, because I'm sure they will. And yeah, she's just kind of a doll again now, and I just feel so bad for her. They always say you can't really escape the dollhouse, and she's definitely the proof of that, and it's just so, so sad. But I've always liked the connection between Ballard and Nellie, November. So them exploring that, I did quite enjoy getting a bit more of. Then yeah, Ambrose is an arsehole, and he's dead, but probably imprinted somewhere else, so the threat of Rossum's kind of building and building, especially since Boyd's actually been Rossum all along. Oh, man. Just... I don't know. It's somehow my favourite episode of Dollhouse so far, and my least favourite episode of Dollhouse so far. If that makes sense. Like, this was an amazing episode. Awesome. Just relentless, non-stop. Twists had twists, and while some of it I feel like has come out of nowhere a bit, you can kind of make the connections in your head and be like, okay, yeah, I can see how they got to this point. I can see how they technically kind of set this up in a way, even if they didn't intentionally mean to. So kind of, yeah. And Ivy, Victor and Sierra kind of, for now, have got out and they're free. So that's some positives, but things are all kicking off. You can definitely see the downward spiral for Topher and seeing what happens in the future with all of that, and the pieces are in place, I think, for quite the final 2 episodes, and I'm very excited for that. Great to see, Whiskey back, then twist with her, twist with Boyd, the twist with Bennett dying. I felt so bad, but I loved the Topher and Bennett kind of stuff throughout it. It was a nice bit of comic relief and lightheartedness, and they were adorable. I mean, Topher was kind of creepy at times. But you can tell he's not really his forte. He's not very used to having those close connections with people. And once he lost her, he was very, all the more kind of shaken up by what his technology's kind of led to, and losing people. He didn't just getting paranoid about that. So awful, tragic downward spiral there. And we'll see where they take all this in the next 2 episodes. I have no idea how on earth they could top this. Are there more twists and turns on the way? I have no idea. But I'm excited to see what they're going to bring for the final 2 episodes of Dollhouse. It's quite something. I'm sad that the show's ending. I'm extra sad because this whole Boyd thing has kind of knocked me for 6. I don't think that's fully processed yet. Maybe if we actually see him be properly like evil and mwahaha in the next episode, I'll be like, you son of a bitch. For now, I'm just going to be sad because he was like my favourite. But man, amazing episode. I loved this one. I think easily one of, if not my favourite episode of Dollhouse so far. And there's only 2 left, sadly. But hell of a journey. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. But awesome, awesome episode. Sad, twists and turns, but awesome. And I look forward to more. So yeah, I'm going to go cry into a pillow and scream. And yeah, until my next reaction, thanks for watching.